The next generation Toyota CHR has just been spied on a racetrack. Let's get into this new beaut. And before I break down all the images and compare to the concept images of the CHR, if you want this vehicle in America, make sure to smash the like button, comment down below. We need to let Toyota know that these vehicles absolutely would be a hit here if available. I would take this over the Corolla Cross Hybrid every day of the week. But let's get into the comparisons. So what we're going to do is compare the spy shots to the Prologue concept that we had. Gosh, was it last summer already when Toyota debuted it? Let's check out the grille design. Well, it has been fleshed out a little bit. You see how three-dimensional this was in the concept? It looks like it's more 2D flat. It doesn't cut into the vehicle nearly as much. They also tapered back the 3D effects. If we look at this portion that cuts kind of underneath the new hammerhead design, that's been flattened out as well. So this I thought was a little over the top, and it was the only thing about the design that looked a little odd to me. So they're taking the overall lines, keeping the lines, but just kind of making it more flat, which I'm for, because this was a little too futuristic, a little too gaping for me. Now the headlight design is overall, right, the lobster claw, you could call it the hammerhead design. It is actually slightly different here. You can see how much texture is going on here. This is all going to be flattened out, and these individual LEDs will be protected by a big plastic lens. Now it also looks like it might cut into the front of the bumper more compared to these that kind of taper off with the first gill, I guess you could say. Now, we also have these digital side mirrors, which are not going to make it into production. At least I don't expect. There's always that possibility, though. And I have to pump the brakes real quick. This CHR second gen is not coming for America. Look, we got the new Prius, and we also have the new Corolla Cross Hybrid. In Europe, though, they see a variety of different crossovers, even though they share similarities, being successful there just due to the differences in their designs. Next comparison here. Looks like we actually have fog lights down here in the grille that I didn't notice on the first image, so that's pretty cool. And it's looking like the overall window design is nearly spot on. Of course, we have this additional, little piece here to segment the windows, which makes, I'm sure, the windows cheaper to manufacture than this big old window with tons of intricacies to it. And we also have that segmentation on the back windows here as well, where we don't have it here on the concept. Now, also on the concept, we had this venting going on top of the hood. I don't see that making it to production, but looking at the lines, guys, even though this is heavily camouflaged, you can see that essentially the lines on here are identical. So this little triangular piece right here behind the front wheel lives on, and it cuts all the way back into the same fashion, except on the concept, we had the handle kind of tucked in somewhere strange, kind of like in the C-pillar of the current CHR, but it looks like they're going to have a normal door handle, unlike the current Prius, that is tucked into the window area. So that makes it a little bit more usable, in my opinion. It was exotic having the handle somewhere around here, but honestly, this is more practical for families, and it is flush with the body. So they do have, these handles very much look like the same technology that we have in, let's say, the Lexus LC500, and pivot and pop out when you unlock the car. This line here at the bottom looks nearly identical, except it is more partitioned. You see this line continue. So it looks like it's almost like plastered on as this one big piece compared to the more elegant design here on the concept. Now we still have massive wheels, and these wheels actually look more sporty than these. These look cool. Don't get me wrong. Any concept wheels typically look out of this world, but why are they testing on this on the Nürburgring too? That is like, what the heck? I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if they're testing a GR CHR. I know that's kind of a mouthful, or at least a GR Sport with maybe an upgraded suspension. Look, they just came out with the GR Sport in Europe for the RAV4, or at least the updated one, though the RAV4 Prime has it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like the GR badge on the plug-in hybrid. We'll talk powertrains here, the CHR, in a little bit. We have a few images here, but I want to get more into the side profile if we can compare apples to oranges here. There we go. This is pretty spot on. Wow. Okay. From the side profile, this thing looks amazing. And they've actually been able to keep the overhangs pretty minimal. Yes, does it taper more aggressively towards the wheel on the back end on the concept? Absolutely. But bravo, Toyota, for keeping this pretty darn close overall from the overhangs. And it actually looks spot on from the front overhang. And with the windows, the overall dimensions are there. They're just like kind of chopped up. And man, if the blind spot was bad on the current CHR, it might be worse here on this next generation. And I can't wait to see the colors that they choose to two-tone this with, because I bet most of them are going to be two-tone. And you can almost see the two-tone underneath edging from the corner of the taillight area, which is right here, and it swoops down and bisects the mid tire. And look, it kind of does the exact same thing here. So I forgot I had an image of the GR Sport CHR. So there you go. They exist out there. Maybe not in Europe, I don't think, but definitely in Japan. All right, here's a good comparison of this angle on the backside, and we're starting to get a better look of the taillights. We saw the differences on the front bumper. Now, looking at the differences on the rear bumper, they are quite substantial. We had this really aggressive rear diffuser on the concept, and here on the production model, it's been flattened out, and you have this aggressive claw in the back. I actually don't know how, well, it is, okay, so it looks like it cuts off right here, but actually goes a little bit further in, so I think that helps with the design a little bit. You can see it cut in a little bit more on the opposite end. But overall, not nearly as aggressive and sick looking as a concept when it comes to the rear end. But the overall design here, these cuts are right in the same portion of the bumper. And notice how we had this vertical raising tail light here. Well, it looks like that's gone. But despite it being lacking on the production version, it looks like this rear windshield could actually be a tad bit wider and bigger, which is great for visibility. We know that the new Prius visibility out the back is pretty bad, and it's not going to be good here on the CHR. It's probably going to be fairly identical with a small window, but at least they made it bigger than the concept. It's really hard to tell what's going on here, but it looks like the lights jut out quite a bit, and we almost have this 3D effect going on with the taillights. We could have something similar here, but it definitely looks more flat and 2D image compared to the concept. Now, luckily the spoiler, well, not the shark fin antenna. Look, I mean, like the detail on that. But the spoiler overall looks really good and close to what we see on the concept. Just a couple more images here of it turning the corner, and we better look of the back end. So there's all the spy shots of the new CHR. I'm pretty darn happy, to be honest. Toyota's kept it very, very similar. I would say like 95% the same. And this thing is going to sell like hotcakes for Europe. Not available in America, but I'm so excited for the new CHR despite that. I think it would kick ass here in America. And the reason why it failed in America is because they never brought hybrid powertrains to it. They never brought all-wheel drive to it. And that is, they just left it out to wither and die. I get a little fired up about the killing of the CHR in America because it never realized its potential. And they're like, oh, here, have the uglier Corolla Cross that is the most safe and generic looking midsize, or should I say subcompact crossover you can get. Luckily, the hybrid powertrain is on it, and it's great, but nothing as delicious as what's going to be seen here on the new CHR. So they're getting the plug-in hybrid powertrain that we see in the Prius Prime with 220 horsepower and up to 161 horsepower coming from the electrified side. Well, I haven't updated this spreadsheet in a long time, but probably on the CHR, at least 38 miles of range. I think the Prius is like 44 miles on the top trim. So upper 30s, low 40s, I would expect here as well with this modest 13 kilowatt hour battery. Fuel economy when you're running in hybrid mode should be around 45 miles per gallon. The standard models will get the hybrid that we see in the Corolla Cross hybrid and the Prius hybrid with nearly 200 horsepower, available all-wheel drive, and gosh, it'll be getting easily 40 miles per gallon in the CHR, if not 45 to 50. We could hold out for a GR CHR and just have an amazing experience with nearly 300 horsepower and all-wheel drive. Like, that's just like pie in the sky situation. I don't see that happening, but hey, they're testing it out on the Nürburgring, so you could probably get your hopes up at least for a GR Sport variant of it. Now, for the Japanese market, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually offered on the base models the 1.8 liter hybrid. They do that with the Prius over there already, but I believe that is just exclusive to the Japanese market where they have the 1.8 and the 2 liter hybrid systems. But yeah, the 2 liter is definitely the way to go with the massive horsepower gain while maintaining the efficiency of like the outgoing hybrid system. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Smash the like button if you're excited for the new CHR. If you want it in America, make sure to put it down below in the comments. We got to let Toyota know we want these global models here stateside, and that includes like the Crown Estate and the Crown Sport, right? Don't get me fired up on that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day and peace.